Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Sunday service. I'm Edna Sensei. Please join me in prayer. Mediation Prayer, Page 2. Let us seek the sincere mediation of Yano Konko Daiji, sincerely and wholeheartedly each and every day. May we receive the mediation of you with all our hearts and souls on this day, this very moment. Ikiyami Konko Daiji Sama, Ikiyami Konko Daiji Sama, Ikiyami Konko Daiji Sama, Ikiyami Konko Daiji Sama. Purification Prayer. Through the way of mediation, may our sincere apologies be acceptable to you, our divine parent. We acknowledge our mistakes and misunderstandings, arrogance and ignorance of your divine favor. We apologize for all our shortcomings and differences from past generations. Guide us to amend our way of living to reflect your divine will, with a pure, joyful, and loving heart, always one with you. Kami Prayer. Reverently we pray that radiance of heaven is us up. Time flow without cease, years pass without end. In heaven and earth is the light that nurtures all. In heaven and earth is the truth that overcomes all. For this wondrous born, for these wondrous works, let us pray Kenji Kami no Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as divine parent, live in Kami's infinite blessings systematically. Yet many not knowing the way are lost in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortunes. Great is Kami's sorrow. Our founding father, Konko Daiji, suffered many trials in this world, but held fast to faith and sincerity. He received Kami's great blessing and began the life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray. The divine parent's great wish was fulfilled. Konko Daiji accepted the call to mediation that leads him to reach our benefit of Kami and humanity. My way he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth, and he knew not the coming of night. By night he prayed for those who grieve, seeking salvation for all who suffered, and he knew not the dawning of day. Though years passed and the world changed, he did not waver from his task, the divine task of mediation. Thus was given the sacred Genji Katsuye, a guiding principle for our daily life. The divine favor was thus renewed, and blessings flow universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Yano Konko Daiji. By this revelation, we are given knowledge of the way. Through all the hardships of this world, we gain our body and soul. The way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Kami, without regard for day or night, whether we are near or far. The way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For giving away our divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in need and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to a life of purpose. Kami is fulfilled in us, we are fulfilled in Kami. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifest in this world. May Kami's wish for true peace and the well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we humbly pray, so we earnestly pray. Recitation of Tenchi Kagitsuke. Ikiyami Konko Daiji Tenchi Kami no Kami Shimi Nirai Okake wa Ona Kokoro ni Ari Konke Suru Mushi Kaname. Pray sincerely with all your heart, divine Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, heart grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to come always, now and forever, on this very day, pray. Ikiyami Konko Daiji Tenshi Kane no Kami Shiri Yara. Wahiawa wa koro ni ari, ondesu konjie kami. Pray sincerely with all your heart, be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to come always, now and forever, on this very day, pray. Niekiyami Konko Daijin Sama Tenchi Kane no Kami-sama. We have gathered here at the Konko Mission of Wahiawa for this regular Sunday service in honor and appreciation of the divine working of the universe. These blessings we receive on a daily basis are the greatest blessings we can ask for. Your divine energy exists in all aspects of our lives. You live in us humans, in plants and animals, in fishes and birds, in everything. Your divine energy existed since the beginning of time. It can never be created nor destroyed. We are surrounded by your workings that continue to provide for us. So we'd like to take a very brief moment of our day to say thank you. Today is Wahiawa Church's Autumn Grand Ceremony and the 30th Memorial Anniversary for the late Reverend Kiyotaka Yasutake Sensei. Yano Sensei went to Maui early this morning to attend the service. He'll be delivering a sermon today there also. We pray that the service will be conducted smoothly. It has been 82 years since the founding of this church by the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi. Please guide us in her pursuit to continue spreading the teachings of the Konko faith. She has sincerely dedicated her life in serving people and serving Kami-sama. We thank her for a spirit which continues to watch over us. We also give thanks to a strong prayer of the sixth spiritual head, Reverend Hiromichi Konko, who serves at the headquarters currently and prays for the well-being of all people. We also appreciate the Amagi Church and Honolulu Church, which are our grandparent and parent church, and the ministers, followers, and supporters of this church. Please continue to guide us in our daily lives and bless every cell in our body from head to toe. At this time, let's take a moment to reflect upon the many things that are happening throughout the world. Let's extend our prayers for the people of the world, our environment, and all living things. In the midst of all that is happening, your blessings still continue, and so today we give thanks for them. Silent prayer. Adoration prayer. We lift our eyes and mouth on heaven soaring above. We lift our eyes and mouth on heaven soaring above. We bow our heads in prayer for earth rich and deep. Living amidst such gifts of Kami's great giving, how happy and grateful we are. The mediation of Ikiyami Konko Daiji does not stop for a single day. The protection of the divine parent embraces all far and wide. The blessings of Kami flow without limit through all generations. The ways of Kami are mysterious and wondrous beyond our understanding. Day by day, every day, earnestly and reverently, we praise the virtues of Kami and honor the power of Kami. Shintoku Sanji, page 29. 仰ぎ祭れば天高く仰ぎますれば天高くもろがみますれば地は厚し神の恵みに生かさる海の幸い度ありがたき我が生き神の御取りすぎひとひもかくる時のなく天使の神の御 守りときちがきの隔てなし神慈しみはよろずよにあまねくみじて果てしなくかん働いをくすしくて人の思いぞ呼ばざる我ら今月今日やり祭りてひたすら神の御影をたたえ祭らん神の秀意を仰ぎ祭らんNitama prayer, page 12. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you are given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your families. You will remember eternally your lives retold from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of our society and the roots of our families. Through the mysterious Konko Sama, you enter the Konko faith. You walk the way of Konko life, respecting the will of the divine parent. You have asked great merit to your faith to take into the world beyond and lead to your descendants. Our gratitude is boundless for your love and universe. We mirror you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you to stand by us, each and every one. Receive the favor of coming and help us fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, enrich us. Now we may know the way of faith. Now we hand it down to all generations. Now we may live in peace and prosperity within our homes. Protect us, guide us, and enrich us. Dear Mitama spirits, the late Reverend Haruko Takahashi, deceased family, friends, spirits of the native Hawaiian people, and beloved house pets that have passed. Good morning to all of you. We have gathered here today for our regular Sunday service in acknowledgement of Kami-sama's blessings and in remembrance of you. We know that you always watch over us and support our well-being and decisions, even more now that you are a Mitama spirit. You are the foundation of our existence, which enabled us to be able to enjoy blessings today. If it weren't for you, we would not be here where we are right now. We honor your divine spirit and pray for your eternal happiness and peace. Whether through a butterfly, a dream, or rainbow across the sky, letting us know your presence in these many forms reminds us that your love for us continues. We wish to continue your legacy as an extension of your life and help pass on your values. And now let's take a moment of silence to think about all the people who Mitama spirits and their generous love and care for us. Thank you. Silent prayer.
りをのみえぬさかいにましませどもみつくしみのみ心はうつしよに変わらせたまわずさきみたまのまさきくさきわえたまいくしみたまのくしみにめぐみたまいて心だしはまきの柱の動きなくなりはいはむすぶすなめのゆるびなくま心清らに励み努めしめたまゆからやからやわらぎあいてにけにうらやすく楽しましめたまついにうつしよのことを得て神の御門に参らん時には必ずしも迎え取りたまいにつくしみを葬らしめたまわものと神の実りの絶えなるおかしこみかたじけなみによやの恵みのおぼろげならぬおうれしみ喜び申すことをみ心もすずやかにきこしめしたまえと申すあなくしびのみおやのみたまあなくしびのみおやのみたまあなことのみおやの神あなことのみおやの神
おはいでGood morning, everyone. Let's open page 73. Let's read the Konko Faith, our creed, together. The Konko Faith, our creed. We believe in Tenshi Kani no Kami, the divine parent of the universe. Our founder, Konko Dashi, embraced Kami's revelation and as divine mediator answered the call to eternal mediation. Our continuing goal from moment to moment is to realize Kami within each of us. We are fulfilled through Kami. Kami is fulfilled through us. The happiness of everyone is Kami's greatest wish. We give thanks for Kami's blessings, mysterious, wondrous, and mundane. Blessings begin with our own hearts filled with harmony and joy. We pray wholeheartedly to Kami today and every day, trusting Kami as our loving parent, finding peace of mind. We live our faith in service to Kami, each other, and our world, nurturing and nurtured, mutually fulfilled. We revere those who have gone before us, spirit one with Kami, caring for us eternally. respect and appreciate other tasks, thinking about humanity towards spiritual fulfillment. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here again for our Sunday service. Practice faith. Receive divine blessings by practicing faith. That that sentence is like what my dad quotes every time. It's a Konko teaching that it's in every onorito that my dad reads for the monthly service, and it's like it's in our brains because he repeats it so many times, even in his sermons. Practice faith. Receive divine blessings by practicing faith. Then not only you, but even further generations down the line can receive divine blessings. And since I was really small, that quote is just circulating through my head, and it didn't really mean much to me. I was like, yeah, he's saying it again. He's saying the same sermon. Another same sermon. And to me, it was like, again. But then, it's like, I guess like the more repetition you get of a sermon or like a teaching, it's like the neurons finally connect. And then, like at this age, I'm 40, it's like mind awakening. It's like, wow, this is what it means to practice faith. This has been a teaching quoted over and over and over again. But this past Wednesday, we had a Kyoto study group session on Zoom, and we came across a teaching, practicing faith is to live day to day. So one person in the Zoom study group, she asked, what does it mean to practice faith? And many of the Konko teachings are based on the fundamental principle to practice faith. But if we haven't learned how to practice faith, we will not know what this teaching is about, right? So what does it mean to practice faith? It's so easy that even a little kid can do this. Practicing faith is to live with Kami-sama centered in your life. To be in that back and forth communication with Kami-sama. That is what it means to practice faith. It is also to be conscious and acknowledge that all we have been able to do and everything that we have is a blessing of Kami-sama. Even the paycheck you get. Not because you worked hard, and of course you worked hard, but what enabled you to work hard? It's because you were able to wake up. First and foremost, if you can't wake up, then you can't go to work. You cannot get your salary. And even if you wake up, if you don't have the ability to breathe or eat and eliminate, then again, you're helpless. You cannot go to work. You cannot be paid. So with everything, we cannot do with our own powers. We think we can, but we can't. I forgot which Konko Sama said this, but Kami-sama, basically, when we move our hands, that is Kami-sama placing his hand or Kami-sama's hands on top of yours so you can move it. We think we're moving, but it's actually Kami-sama is helping us move. There was a person who challenged the existence of Kami-sama once, and she said, I don't think Kami-sama exists. And then from the very next day, she couldn't go to work. She works in an occupation where she has to use her hands all day. And the very next day after she said, I don't believe in Kami-sama, something happened to her hands where she couldn't move anymore. Her hands couldn't move. So she was dysfunctional. She can't go to work. So she sincerely apologized immediately. And she said, I'm so sorry for saying that I don't believe in you. You do exist, you do. And then her hands healed, and then she was able to go back to work again. When we get arrogant, Kami-sama will show us Kami-sama's power. So always be humble, that we are allowed to do things. Not we do things, but we are allowed to do things because of Kami-sama's blessings. And even as you listen to me, your heart is beating on its own. It's not like, you take your hand and say, okay, beat, 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 beat. You're breathing on your own, and only when you're conscious you can, take a deep breath and you can hold your breath. But if you're not even thinking, you can breathe, and Kami-sama allows you to do that. You can see me, you can hear me, you can process the message that I'm saying into your head. You can walk, you can talk, you drove here, you can function.
And it's not only for humans, but look at plants and animals as well. People say, oh yeah, I grew this tree in the yard. I grew it. I grew it from when it was like a little seed. And it's like, you didn't grow it. All you did was probably water it maybe and give fertilizer occasionally. You didn't grow it. Kami-sama grew it. You didn't like get the branches and the trunk and say, okay, grow, come on. You didn't, make the branches grow higher. And even for your like sons and daughters, they grew through the blessings of Kami-sama. You didn't like grab their arms and say, okay, get a little bit taller, grab your legs and say, like my mom always says that, It's not like we pulled your legs and hands to make you grow taller. And it was all possible because of Kami-sama blessings. So practicing faith also means to be grateful for Kami-sama and what you have and what you are able to do again. There was a quote I saw the other day on Facebook, and it said, a satisfied life is better than a successful life. Because our success is measured by other people. But our satisfaction is measured by our own soul, mind, and heart. And to bring that quote up a notch, I think we should live a life that even Kami-sama will be satisfied with your way of life. And that's to have gratitude in your heart. Yesterday, I was at an oncology conference, annual conference yesterday, and the last few presenters before it ended, they were so hard. Like, it was so hard what they were saying, They're talking about a new type of therapy that popped up in, and they were trying to explain the mechanisms of how it works in the body, and like a lot of people were dozing off because it was after lunch too, and it just went over our heads, And the context was so difficult. But in my head, I was thinking, wow, all these intelligent speakers, probably like half of the people that attended yesterday's function were all doctors and like pharmacists, and all these highly, highly intelligent people. And I was like, wow, all these people, all these intelligent speakers, these practitioners, they know so much because of Kami-sama's blessings, I thought, Because really, all it takes is one little vessel popping in your head. You get one little stroke, and even the smartest person is going to be disabled, He cannot think. So really, it's Kami-sama's blessings that we can function. And one speaker was talking about the best diet to avoid cancer. He was like, stay away from processed food, canned foods, alcohol, sugary drinks, sweets, red meats, dairy, and etc. He encouraged blueberries many times in his speech. He encouraged green tea. He said, drink a lot of green tea. I drink it 3 times a day. He eats tofu, and he eats organic foods, mainly vegetables. I was like, oh, that's like a Zen Buddhist priest. There are so many things that can potentially give us cancer. So if you try to avoid everything, you'll basically run out of things to eat. Think about it. Even breathing can cause cancer because of the pollution in the air these days, like the car exhaust, room deodorizers, fumes, the dioxins. Eat your fruits and vegetables, they say. Eat it organic because conventional fruits and vegetables contain a lot of pesticides, and pesticides can give you cancer. Eat white rice instead of brown rice because brown rice contains more arsenic, which can cause cancer. Drink filtered water because there are many chemicals in the water we drink these days, and the chemicals can cause cancer. So despite following all of these rules to avoid, and despite going like completely organic and vegan, people still end up with cancer, and they come in as patients. Like totally healthy people who only eat fresh fruits and vegetables, organic, no alcohol, no smoking, none of those risky stuff, and they maintain an active lifestyle, they still end up with cancer. So what does this all remind you of? It reminds me of the founder Konko Daiji and his avoiding Konjin-sama, the evil deity, because the founder, he did all he can to avoid the wrath of Konjin, right? He followed the days and directions to the teeth, yet he still ended up with 7 deaths and misfortune in his family. So cancer is another example of the modern day Konjin Sama. Cancer scares a lot of people. People automatically associate cancer with death. You know, they sell t-shirts and bumper stickers with the words, F you, cancer! Have you seen them? F you, you know. I don't want to say the actual word, but you know what I mean. There are even patients who have tattoos on them saying, F you, cancer. Like, I guess there was this person who had like a colostomy because he had colon cancer. And that, like, right around that colostomy site, in a circle, it says, F you, cancer. What? Now, it's that mentality, I think, that's very cancerous. So, 本当に people really gotta watch out what you think, the actions and their words. It's very scary. People don't realize that there are a million ways to die, and yet they only try to avoid cancer. Right? They put so much energy in trying to avoid cancer as much as possible. In California, they have these labels, you know, on products. If you go in a supermarket, it's called the Proposition 65. It's basically a warning label on foods, beverages, furniture, and even our clothing. And because it contains chemicals that can cause cancer and birth defects. You notice them, right? Have you noticed them? I noticed them even on rice. When I pick up the items on the shelf and I see that label, I immediately get turned off. I'm like, ew, like I don't want to buy it anymore. You know, it's almost like they don't want you to buy it. So why even put it on the shelves? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Even if people avoided all these products, you know, they still get cancer. So what then? Cancer doesn't care what you eat, how you live your lifestyle. When they get it, they get it. When you get it, you'll get it. People also fear cancer, especially if it runs in their family, their blood lineage, right? I had a patient once who was adopted. So he had no blood relation to the people living in the family. But the stepmother, the person that adopted him, the stepmother died of leukemia, and her sisters also died of leukemia. It's like many family members that adopted him got leukemia and died. But he was like, I'm not related to any of them, so I don't have to worry. It's okay. Guess what? He ended up with leukemia, and he became a patient. And the more we try to avoid, the more that energy is kind of attracted to you. You notice? Even like for bullying, if you think, oh no, I'm going to get bullied if I go to school again today. Guess what? You're going to get bullied. And you try to avoid that person, they're going to come find you, right? They're going to come find and bully you. That's what happened to me when I was in middle school. I was trying to avoid these people that were trying to bully me. And every morning I had that irritating, that gut feeling, oh, I'm going to get bullied again. I don't want to get bullied. I don't want to get bullied. I hate school. I hate school. I hate them. Go to school, get bullied by them. I try to run away. I try to hide. They find me. It's like that. You try to avoid something because you hate it. When you put so much energy into hating something, it's going to come find you. It's like that. So anyways, I know this person who really hates Hello Kitty. He hates Hello Kitty. And he even posts Hello Kitty posts of like Hello Kitty inside of a makeshift coffin and said Hello Kitty died. And he hates it so much that it's so funny. I end up giving him Hello Kitty gifts just to make him cringe. And if I see something Hello Kitty, I'll take a picture and I'll text it to him. So I think cancer and everything else we want to avoid is the same. The more we avoid, the more it gets attracted to us. Just like Konjin Sama, how everybody was trying to avoid Konjin Sama. Even the founder was trying to avoid insulting, avoid the wrath of Konjin. He ended up getting more of it, right? He ended up getting more of the wrath the more you try to avoid. It's because, you know, again, you're putting that much energy and thought into like, oh, I don't want cancer, I don't want cancer, I don't want, like, something you don't want in your life. So it will just go out into the universe, it will just come to you. Worrying is a prayer for bad things to happen. So used to be a worrywart, and I still am, but I try not to be, and instead I come here, auto-locate, and give the worries to Kami-sama instead. Because again, worrying is a prayer for bad things to happen. So practice faith by being grateful to Kami-sama for the blessings that you have, and don't be worried about the future. Give your worries to Kami-sama. Then you will surely receive divine blessings. Live life to the fullest. Live happily, live gratefully, eat gratefully, have that gratitude in your heart, and live with absolute trust in Kami-sama, and then you'll be fine. You'll have a good life. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for coming to today's Sunday service. Usually don't have too much to say. Pretty much every time I come up here. Recently, work has been pretty busy. It seems like there's like more and more sick people that's coming in, and work has been pretty stressful actually. With like all the sicker patients, it's like you do your best, but it seems like it's never enough. When you're trying to like help the patient, help the family, help them overcome the illness that they're going through. But it's like, I guess it's like the mindset that makes all the difference when taking care of the patient. So I guess recently, well, not mindset and experience, I guess, makes a big difference. And it goes the same for faith. The more longer we practice faith, the more we understand faith in our everyday life, the more we start to understand and realize how important it is to have like actual experience in practicing faith in our everyday life. So, you know, there's also the saying of like, just be careful what you think or be careful what you wish for. So recently, there's like two things that I guess happened recently. So the first one was the hospital, the ER was like super full. There's like barely any beds, and it was like, the ER was okay. It was super full, but it was manageable. And I was like, you know, I haven't had an ICU patient in such a long time. I haven't taken care of one in a while. Because I haven't been to the ICU in a while. I've been like going to the ER quite a bit to take care of the patients down there. And so like, you know, everybody's like kind of like relaxing and everything. I was like, man, I haven't had an ICU patient in a while. You know, I wish I could like manage somebody with some drips and stuff like that. And then, you know, right after that, it's kind of like the example where I gave where like the girl said, it's so boring, or it's so quiet today. So like right after that, the EMS people called, and then they said, oh, we're bringing in somebody from a nursing home who's who's not breathing, who has like the breathing tube down their throat, and they need support. So I was like, oh crap, okay. So like I got the patient, and then the patient was I guess the EMT says like, oh, I got the tube down, but it seems like it's not working too well. I mean, there was like bagging the patient and everything, and I was like, I don't see the chest rising, and then neither did the doctor, and we're like, there's something called Untitled CO2 where we check for color changes when we're doing the bagging, and it wasn't changing at all. And so it's like, man, something's just not right. And then the blood pressure is like 50s to 60s, and I was like, oh, this guy's gonna die pretty soon. You know, he's gonna cold soon. So nobody was really panicking. It was just me, another guy, and then the doctor and the respiratory therapist. And we were like, where's everybody else? Why isn't anybody helping? But you know, it was just to not panic at that time, even though they're pretty close to like, you know, going to like cardiac arrest and everything. The doctor like looked inside the trachea or the throat area, and we found out that the tube wasn't really inside the lung. So we're just bagging nothing basically. So that's the reason why the heart rate was like super high, and then the blood pressure was like super low. And you see like the heart rate like started to slow down little by little. So, you know, we just gathered all the supplies, put a new tube in, and then made the person breathe, or help the person breathe with, you know, the bagging and the machines and all that. And you know, the blood pressure still wouldn't go up, it was still super low, like 50s to 60s, and I was like, I just like calmly like, can I get this? Can I get that? You know, we need all of these things to like kind of make things better for the patient to bring their blood pressure up. But if you're a newer nurse, you start to like panic a little, and then your mind kind of goes blank. It's during those like hard times, or those times when there's lots of pressure, to just try to remain calm, to try to keep your heart, your mind calm, so you can think things through clearly, to basically help that patient out. That's what I did. That's where the experience comes into play. So I was like, David, you're making us look bad. And I was like, why? Because I have the ICU patient. Like, no, I'm not. It's not me. I didn't want that patient. I just happened to get that patient who ended up being on a ventilator, who ended up being on like a couple of drips to like increase the blood pressure. And you know, it takes a little bit more time to like manage that patient because they're super sick. But got them good enough to like basically go to the ICU and get taken care of. So there was the other episode where it was recently, the other day actually. There was a patient. I guess he had cancer as well, and he was a dialysis patient. There's like lots of dialysis patients nowadays, and the patient's sugar kept dropping every single time. Like no matter how much he can't really eat because he doesn't have an appetite, probably due to the cancer. And you know, his sugar was like 30. It's like 30 is low. The normal sugar would be like 70s, maybe out up to like 100s, and you know, like we kept pushing sugar into the patient, pushing, and like it would go up for a brief moment, it would come down, go up, come down, and then you know the patient's getting like confused because the sugar is low. It's kind of like being super hungry to the point where your mind doesn't function. Your brain needs sugar. So the nurse is new. And the nurse is scared of the doctor, you know, to like ask the doctor for things. I said, you gotta ask the doctor for whatever. I wasn't trying to be like a mean person. I said it very calmly, like this is what you're gonna need. Like the sugar's gonna keep dropping. You're gonna have to order this, and this to maintain the sugar. But I said you cannot be scared to ask. You have to look out for the patient. Basically, you're trying to help that individual that's like lying in bed that can't really do nothing for themselves, and it's our responsibility to help them. And so it's like, man, I wish I didn't have this patient. I said, no, it's actually good you got this patient. It's a good learning opportunity. It's good experience. If you don't go through like some hard, challenging things, like as a nurse or even throughout life, it's kind of hard to like learn and grow. And kind of like teach you a lesson on what can happen in the future and how to deal with certain situations. So, you know, that new the new nurse is like, how do I become like you? I said, you don't need to be like me. I just said, just try to get as much experience as possible and to learn from those experiences so you get more confident and so you're able to help other people who are just as sick, who needs your help. So the same goes with practicing faith. We listen to the teachings, like we read the teachings in the Kyoten or whatever, and we kind of understand it, but we never really put it into practice until there comes a situation where we have to put it into practice. You know, during hard times is when we're like, oh, Konko Sama, please help me, I really need help. It's not just during those times that we should rely on Kami-sama. It's also during the everyday normal things that we should be appreciative and realize that Kami-sama is within our everyday life and is helping us to live our normal health that we have, to be able to like walk around, eat whatever, watch TV, look at YouTube or whatever. It seems pretty normal, like you take it for granted. But when I see all the sick patients come in, like it really makes you realize, like, man, we are pretty fragile in a sense. Like our bodies are fragile. We need to take care of it. We need to be appreciative to Kami-sama for giving us our everyday good health, that we're able to just do our everyday things without much worry. So that's where I feel, just truly within your own self to be able to like thank Kami-sama, to be able to realize that Kami-sama is within our everyday lives, and just to keep that in your mind every day is important. Just remind yourself, like, thank you very much, Kami-sama, for today, kind of thing. Just as simple as that, I feel will kind of like build, and when you get older and older, you start to truly like realize the workings of Kami with all the experience, basically. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Morning. おはようございます。Thank you for coming. 本当に。Yeah, today Sensei went to Maui, so 5 o'clock 4:30 ぐらいにご審判して、で5:30ぐらいここで5:15だったかな。5:30にいましたね。行くぞっていう先生にものすごく元気でね。ハワイエアラインに先生これドライブして。帰りきるか Can you go back to Wahiawa? Can you? って How to get ね to create Wahiawa? そうで頭ボケてるからリセンターも私の頭がなんかポワンとしててそれで先生心配してましたおかげさまで帰ってきました、ずっとここはコンセキュティブに3 times 私ここスタンディングインフロントオブユーねちょっと少しナンパするラスタイムスイカがありますねスイカシードがね私アキュレートにカウントしたのいくらだったと思いますこのちっちゃいのね190
Wow, that many.
今アイスボックスに入れてる
あ、低くついちゃいけないんでしょ。
190もあったのすごいですね。あのちっちゃなあれね。
低くいちゃいけないの。
そう。
インアクティブになるから。
ああ、そう190もあってすごいな思ってね。そうあれが全部このシードが出たらは190のスイカにまた190いったら、まあ、200ぐらいいったらちょっと4000個ぐらい4000ぐらいスイカができるっていうことね。I think one スイカに more than 500ぐらいあるかもね、シードがね。たったこれだけなのに190もあった100になる。That's the 神様のファンクション。So amazing. So, faith practicing is いつも信心の稽古にプラクティスね。稽古って言いますね。それで、本当にラストタイムの経典スタディの時にエルナ言いましたね。フェイスプラクティスってどういうことをするのかな what to do with フェイスプラクティスね。そう、本当にどういうことやろうかねと、私は信者さんが人々がピープルが神様とコネクトする。いつも心が信心とは心が神に向かうのを信心というのだ。なんていう英語で信心は心が神に向かうことを信心。
Faith is when your heart turns to 神。
いや、always faith to 神様。私の心がね。だから朝目が覚めた時に普通は眠いぐらいしかないけど、フェイスプラクティシング朝目が覚めてありがとうございます。ね、いつもね皆さんやってますね。朝起きてありがとう、Thank you。お水使うのでもご飯いただくのでもありがとうございますってね。トイレ行くのにもね Thank you ってみんな言いますね。夜寝るとき Before sleeping Thank you 今日もありがとうってそういうふうにお礼を言う。つまり always connect our heart connect 神様。そういうことをそういうプラクティスね練習しとかないと without practicing 忘れちゃうね。で take granted になるね。そうありがとうありがとうって四代金光様すべてに礼を言う心神をすべてに礼を言う神を表し神になる心。私たちのフェイスプラクティシングしたらファイナルゴールは何かって言ったら神になること。becoming a 神。human being becoming 神。after we die で神様になるね、御霊の神。でも神様になるっていうのは during the alive ね。いいことやっぱり神様にこうコネクトしている人は何か違うなって感じ。何かリスペクトフルに何かフィーリング違いますね。やっぱり日頃からデイリーライフ神様にこういつもコネクションになってる。いつも神様に。そうすると亡くなった後も神様みたいになるね。神様コネクションしてるね。御霊様自身がね。神を表し神様になる。だからいつもin the daily life に何かあった時でも何もない時でも「金光様」って言いなさいって私は私が平尾教会いうところに行った時に毎回 every time that 先生 the speech 何でもいいから「金光様」って言いなさいって「say 金光様」そしてこける時もねこけた時も「あいたあいた」って先に言ったらいけない。Don't say あいたおうち first ね。金光様って先に言って後でレーターを「おあいたたた」って言いなさいって言ってましたね。だってやっぱりプラクティシングかな。プラクティシング to say で金光様ね。よく諏訪さん言ってましたね。諏訪さんが何でも金光様金光様って言いなさいって言ってたでしょ。いつも諏訪さん言ってたね。その心だ anything anytime 金光様って言ったらね助けてくださるね神様が。この前トト先生が東京で話してましたけどね私がいつも「金光様」って言いなさいって言うから
コンコ様って自分も言うようになった。He also saying for Konko Sama, and then when he was practicing at 東京のなんとかチャーチだったね。early morning, he encountered car accident, and then 道路歩いてやったら大きなベンツかなんかのナイスカーがね、ボーンとhe got hit, and then his body fried ふわーって、その時にコンコ様って言ったって、そしたら何かがsomethingがこの抱えられたようにsomeone 何かsomeone get his body, that feeling he had that feeling ね。本当にふわっとしてボンネットの上からフロントだからカーの上にドーンと落ちたらしい。そしてふわっと落ちて立ったかなんかしたらね、stand after got でふわーっとね、feeling like someone got it.
Someone catch him.
Someone catch him ね、that feeling. 神様だろうなって、コンコ様って言ったから、神様とコネクションになってるからね、言ってましたね。で、本当にドライバーびっくりして、サプライズ、I okay, I totally okay って大丈夫かってとっても心配してたね。でも自分はnothing、本当に神様のおかげで、コンコ様って言ったら何かがね、時間が止まったように何かがあるよ。コンコ様ってsomethingあるでしょ。事故とか、ね、何か危ない時ね、dangerous time。そう、コンコ様という練習、そういうふうなのもフェイスプラクティスになりますね。Always、いつも心が神様に向くフェイスプラクティスね。そしてパニックになって、今デイビッドがいろいろ、デイビッド今日勇者で遅く帰ってきましたね。もう本当にずっと every day、ほとんどhe working だから先生もう今日は起こすなんて、don't let him wake up ね、because too busy for one schedule, one week ね。でもいや、このチャンスthis is a practice いやそれはもし起こさなかったら if I let him wake up
Sleeping.
そしたら楽かもしれない、easy way かもしれないけど、何でも easy way だったらおかげにならないやっぱりそれ眠い、辛いけどきついけど何か神様のためにという、神様にね、ティーチングを何かシェアする、それが神様からのおかげをいただく receive the blessing ね。そうよかったなと思って、パニックになった時にコンコ様っていうね、それは天地書きつけになるね。生きがみ金光大臣と天地界の神、この2つの名前 call them to 神様の name, it receive the divine power, special power くださるね。そうするとおかげになるね。一心に願いだからワンハートコンコ様って感じでね、コンコ様じゃないけどね、じゃない、一心に願いって書いてね、一心に願い、おかげは我が心にあり、the divine blessings are harmonious, becoming harmonious ね、joyful heart。パニックになったらハーモニアスどころでないね。でもコンコ様って言ったらなんか心がカームになるね。calm, harmonious, joyful heart ね。安心した心になる。だから先生、デイビッドは言ってね、コンコ様助けてくださいって感じでプレイヤーする。That heart, it's really helpful our daily life。ハーモニアスになりますね。コンコ様と一生懸命名前を呼ぶとね。いや、今月今日で頼む。今月今日、いつも心を神様に向けなさい。頼みなさい。言ってますね。天地書きつけをずっと If you do not forget the 天地書きつけ、 to 神様の name, recite 神様の name. When you receive the name, call the name, you can get the power, like divine power, tremendous ね。何か危ないところを助けてくださるようなね、トート先生のこれみたいにね考えられないようなミラクラスなおかげがありますね。So, practicing faith っていうのはいつも心が神に向かう、always faith to 神様。Do not forget the 神様。Do not forget the parents と同じね。Parents take care of us ね。本当にね、truly parents think about and pray for us、and 神様と聖母忘れないようにお母さんお父さんの名前呼ぶね。名前を呼べば振り向いてくれるね。If 注射さんったらって振り向くね。同じ名前は calling name is so powerful。 そう人が動くね。そうだから天地からつけありますように、池上金光大臣と建築界の神様、この2つの名前を recite。 something happen 時には2体目を emergency 用人のして天地界の神様 call 池上金光大臣 help me だったら神様 immediately help you ありますね。そういう teaching、 そういういつもそういう練習 practicing that is a faith practice and appreciation that 神様 gave us a lot of tremendous blessing and care about us でありがとうという練習 practicing。 So 何でもスポーツの時でもね、ボールが飛んでくるね、ボールサッカーでも何でもここさんって受けるね。It's good。天城の親先生、バレーボールの時にここさんってね受けてた anything ね。それは気違いかクレイジーみたいだけど本当に思わずここさまってなるね。神様 such a way help us。 そしたらあまりこう問題が何かスムーズにね、デイリーライフが神様 wish us happiness。 神様の tremendous wishes becoming happiness we are。 ということで今日はなんかまとまりませんでしたけどもありがとうございます。Thank you for listening。 聖金子様 anytime anywhere。 ありがとうございます。池上金光大臣天使金の神一心におかげは我が心にあり、今月今日で頼み。金光大臣天使金の神一心におかげは我が心にあり、今月今日で頼み。
From farmer to farmer, founder.
Page
Page is
72.
72. Last paragraph.
Oh, this one.
Various people have. So
David.
Various people have noted how Bunji responded to the attempts by mountain priests to interfere with his practice. One believer said, once while I was at the worship hall, mountain priests came and took away the paper lanterns and other items. Bunji said, when Kami tells you to give in to those opposing you and to let them take care of it, Kami is referring to times like these. Another said, mountain priests came to worship hall and took away all the offerings, leaving only the bare altar. When I visited Bunji, he said, even though the altar is empty, you could give prayers and receive divine blessings, even if you were to face an empty wall. So come here to worship.
Bunji taught, I cannot become angry at those priests who come here often, for Kami is having them come. The mountain priests will no longer be a concern. This way of faith will flourish year after year. You will see this happen in the future. Bunji was teaching his followers to continue their focus on faith development and not allow the behavior of the mountain priests to be a distraction to them.
However, there were occasions when Bunji was unable to remain calm. On one such occasion, with clenched fists and his face turning red, he said, I used to be a farmer that even carried manure, but now I am serving Kami. That is why the mountain priests hate me and come to ruin the altar. They say Bunji is using raccoons or foxes as messengers of Kami. But I am just here to save people from their sufferings. If they do not like it, why not kill me? That's the only way they can get me to stop practicing faith.
During this time of opposition from mountain priest, Bunji's biological younger brother, Hikosuke Obata, died. Bunji had arranged Hikosuke's adoption by the Obata family and even purchased a plot of high-quality productive land for him. On January 3rd, 1862, 3 years after his adoption, a relative, Hatsunojo Obata, and two of Hikosuke's neighbors came to inform Bunji that Hikosuke was suffering from a mental disorder. Bunji immediately gave prayers to Kami and was told that a person adopted in good health would customarily not be sent back due to ill health, but an exception would be made in this case to assist Hikosuke in his recovery. Asakichi brought Hikosuke to Bunji's house on the 8th of January, whereupon Bunji prayed daily for his recovery.
Hikosuke suffered from a psychotic fit on the morning of January 14 and became destructive as Bunji watched helplessly. When Bunji prayed, he was told that the fits would cease by the afternoon and to have Hikosuke take a hot bath in the evening after everyone else had taken one. After bathing, Hikosuke was back to normal and went to the worship hall to give thanks. An exhausted Hikosuke then slept for 2 days, and when he woke up in the afternoon of the 3rd day, he was made presentable. The day after his recovery, Hikosuke went home.
On the evening of February 28, 1862, 5 of Hikosuke's relatives once again brought him to the worship hall, explaining that Hikosuke had experienced a relapse and they were now concerned for his wife, who was expecting to give birth. They humbly apologized and asked Bunji to again make him whole. Bunji relayed their concerns and requests to Kami and was told not to worry, for Hikosuke's wife would not give birth yet. According to Kami, Hikosuke would remain with Bunji and his condition would be addressed in 2 stages. Since a quick cure would only weaken him, before returning home, family members were assured that when Hikosuke acknowledges he can take good care of his pregnant wife, he would return home and his wife would give birth to their child.
Hikosuke recovered by the afternoon of March 3rd and went home by himself. The next day, Bunji had Asakichi check on Hikosuke and was told that Hikosuke was in sound health and able to carry. Similar to the views that Kami had revealed, Hikosuke, Obata's wife,
the night of March 26th. The next day, Ikusuke went to the worship hall in Otani to give thanks and was told that Kami had delayed Kido's birth by a month.
On October 16th, while Bunji was giving prayers of thanks, a messenger from the Obata family came and informed him that Hikosuke had succumbed to a sudden illness. Bunji immediately asked Kami and was told that it was not a sudden illness but an unusual death. The mother-in-law's lack of realization and acknowledgement of her indebtedness to Kami prevented Hikosuke from attaining true happiness. So the 34-year-old took his own life. The Obata family messenger later told Bunji that the day before, Hikosuke had sold barley all day, but at dawn the next day he died unnaturally. Bunji's heart truly went out to Hikosuke, who had lived such a harsh life.
Hi. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Since Reiko Church is having a website today.
歌を歌います。OK。もう入ってます。Number 1。Number 3。こんなの。はい。はい。歌を歌いましょう。ここから。
歌を歌わせていただきます。で今日はまだワイルクのグランドサービス、そう親神の夜差しのままにページ58ですかね。ここは歌います。よろしくお願いいたします。
我が生きがい
ありがとうございました。おや、まだあったね。すみません、シャリシャリ。赤だね。赤やないの。あ、シャリシャリだったね。もう、あと。6人だった6人先に。あ、そうか。あ、出るな。変わります。失礼しますよ。
chart stay on it. Ready?
気が根根高大師中金の神真に願えおかげは我が心にあり今月今日で可能気が根根高大師中金の神真に願えおかげは我が心にあり今月今日で可能
ありがとうございました。Thank you so much. ただいまからシェアを開始させていただきます。
Thank you so much for following us this morning. We hope you have another wonderful week. Thank you.
ありがとう。